Welcome back, everybody, to our podcast here, where we take 5 to 15 minutes and dive into all things real estate. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about DSCRs and what those are, what it means, and how they're applicable to real estate. Right. So first, let's start with what is DSCR. A DSCR is a type of loan that you can take on a rental property or an investment property. DSCR is this crazy acronym. You've heard us go into some different acronyms on this podcast. What does it stand for? Debt Service Coverage Ratio.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. What does it mean? How is it different from, let's say, your traditional mortgage that you get on your primary home? Right. The biggest difference is that when you go and get a mortgage on your primary home or a vacation home or a secondary home or even a traditional rental property, the first thing that the banks or the lenders are going to ask for is your personal income statements, whether that's tax returns. They're going to look at recent pay stubs. They're going to look at what type of money do you make in your job, and do you have enough monthly income to cover the mortgage on that property? The difference in a DSCR is that they're looking at the property itself. So they're never going to ask you for tax returns or pay stubs or anything that's personal to your income. They're going to ask you for your social security number and some other background on you. They're going to look at your personal credit to see, let's take LD for example, right? They're going to look at LD's credit, and they're not going to be asking like how much money does LD make, but really they're looking at the credit score to say, when this property makes money, is LD responsible enough to take the money from that property and pay the mortgage with that money and then keep the rest?
I am. I think
Of course you are. Oh, you definitely are.
Dude, you got me pumped up here, man. Like, tell me some more. Well, let me just stop you for 1 second. So, Debt service coverage ratio. So they're looking at the property. Now, if you are like a seasoned investor, guess what you have and guess what you don't have? You have net worth, but you do not have any cash flow. And so that's why you're an investor. That's why you invest in real estate. So you can say, hey, look, I don't have cash flow, but I have a huge net worth. I'm leaving like a legacy for my family. So that's hard. But with this, a real estate investor can actually go and get something. But I want to go to the other side of that, Luke. And that is a lot of people who are listening to us right now. They are very new to investing. So they don't have assets. They maybe have a paycheck. But a lot of them don't have a big paycheck. So they go, I want to start real estate. So you know what? They come up to me. I actually got a text yesterday. I want to start wholesaling because they think that's the only way they can get into real estate because they don't have any cash flow. So this product right here, and then I'll let you take it off. I just got really excited. This works for everybody. It works for the poor guy with a W-2 job. It works for the rich guy who can't get a loan because he's high equity or high net worth, but low cash flow. So yeah, this product is actually freaking amazing.
I remember.
So sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
When we first learned about it, you and I were in Puerto Rico and we thought we discovered secrets of the universe.
We did.
It is the secrets of the universe.
It is the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, so there are some caveats to it. We know when the lender's looking at you, they're going to say, "Do you have experience in this?" So some experience does come into effect on here. Like you may not be able to get your very first rental property with a loan like this. You might have to go do more of a traditional one, but there are ways to partner with other people as well. For instance, credit sponsors. And if I have no experience and do not have any kind of rental properties under my belt, but I know that LD has plenty, I can go to LD and say, hey, if you help me acquire this loan, a DSCR loan, then I'll give you X amount of equity in the property. Right? And you can start building your portfolio that way. But when it comes to the DSCR loan, again, they're looking at what does the rental property itself, what kind of income does that bring in, and can it cover the PITI on this property? So if your PITI, let's just keep it simple, is $1,000.
Can I stop you for 1 second? I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What is PITI?
That's a good question. PITI stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So it's typically your monthly mortgage payment.
Okay.
Yeah. So as long as you can cover that, so if your mortgage payment or your PITI is $1,000, if you can pay, or if you can bring in $1,400 of rental income on that, then you're covering the mortgage payment, right? You could take $1,000, apply it to that, and you get $400 left in your pocket. So you're covering the debt service, and they look at a specific ratio. Typically, they want to see 1.2 to 1.4 or higher.
Sorry, what does that mean? 1.2 to 1.4 of what?
So the ratio of the debt service coverage. So again, if your mortgage payment is $1,000 and you can bring in $1,400, you're at about a 1.4 ratio.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So they want you to cash flow. They want to make sure that you're going to make a little bit of money on this deal, or there's some black belt moves out there that are very much more advanced where they will do it if you're losing money, but that's where you have your very high net worth people with a lot of assets that they can look at those and say, you have enough cash flow from these other assets to cover this. But that we could talk about in another episode.
Okay. So I have one more question. DSCR, a new investor finds a really badass house and he wants to get into it and live there with his wife and his 8 kids. I guess I'm talking about myself. Can I do that?
No, you cannot, actually. The property cannot be lived in by the owner. It must be an investment property that you are renting out to someone else.
Investment property. Oh, okay. So I guess to close out this episode, DSCR, freaking awesome for seasoned investors, new investors, but you cannot live in it as a personal residence.
That's correct.
All right. Is there any other thing, typo, that we're missing that we should have mentioned?
Nothing I can think of right now. It's pretty spot on.
All right. Well, I guess I kind of cut you off, Luke. You're the expert in this field. Is there anything else?
No, that pretty well covers everything. We can do more deep dives into it later. And give us a thumbs up if this is helpful. If you like it, if you want us to dive more or have other questions, we can maybe even bring somebody on and answer more questions sometime.
If you thought that Luke kept talking over me, put a thumbs down. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow in the same car, in the same location. It'll be like a time machine.